Kia ora and welcome. I'm super excited to introduce our guest. We have John Rata. John Rata is an Auckland-based Filipino creative and current co-producer for Pat's Fresh Off the Page and Fresh Development programs. John is also a writer, director, photographer, and videographer. Is there anything you can't do, John?
There's a lot. There's a lot. That's why in the bio I put stuff that I can do.
How are you today, John?
Today I'm good. I did some writing earlier before this, and a little bit of a workout. But in general, I've been feeling all right. It's been more of a feeling of just accepting and trying to be patient with everything that's been happening now. Things have definitely slowed down, and I think as the title of this show, it's given much more of a breathing space as well.
Where are you in isolation and who's in your bubble?
So I'm at home in isolation. I'm with my family, my mum, my dad, and my little brother. What's been interesting is with the lockdown, sort of progressively as the lockdown's been going, I realize kind of more and more the social factor of how much I get from my family, really. Because I start to imagine, oh, okay, this is good because I'm with them. But I start imagining things like, what if I was like completely alone? Because the fact is, I'm not completely alone where I am here now. And just thinking of what it would be like if I was actually just by myself, it really, yeah, I think I would have a different mindset if I was by myself right now, as opposed to with my family at the moment.
I do totally know what you mean. It's been really challenging being far away from my family, actually. I want to know, who are you right now when your practice is on pause?
I think for me, since my practice of art is, there's sort of a range of it. It goes from theatre to, video things, and I also do music stuff. So I am fortunate that some of my practices I can do in isolation to some degree. So I have still been able to practice art in regards to writing and self-practice with like music, like piano and guitar and all that kind of stuff. But in terms of, for example, with Pat and the events that we hold in terms of our theatre things, and stuff that requires having a live audience, it just really feels like I'm cut off from a community to some degree. Even though we're able to make contact online, it just feels weird not to have that shared space with people who share the same sort of ideas or the same sort of creative pursuits as you in a physical space. What I've been thinking more and more as well is how much my identity and how much I actually rely personally on sort of creating as a human being. So for example, I talked about writing and music and still being able to do art in isolation. As like I said with my family, it makes me wonder. I've been wondering as well, okay, so what would it be if like I couldn't write or I couldn't do anything to do with music at all, and like everything completely like 100% was stripped away? It really, I think I've never really had that thought before, because I think I've attached so much of my existence or my purpose of existence to at least one type of art or some kind of creative or pursuit. So I think, and usually when I go for some experience, some extended period of time not practicing some kind of creative goal or trying to, I guess, manifest something artistically that's in my head, I just feel like I'm procrastinating. So yeah, it's a really hard answer. I feel like if everything was taken away in terms of all my creative pursuits and my ability to do them, it would really feel like I had lost some purpose. But fortunately, in the context of the lockdown, I'm still able to practice to some degree. But yeah.
Well, it definitely sounds like this question got you thinking quite hard on your identity, which is always quite fascinating and a really good way to sort of evaluate, I suppose, what really is truly important to people or to yourself and to the journey that you're taking on at the moment. So I want to know, if John Rata didn't have a guitar, didn't have his computer, his camera, his laptop to write, or pen and paper to write, like, what is your breathing space? What does it look like at the moment? What are you doing in or for your breathing space?
Mm, I think a lot of it is, if I'm not creating, I'm consuming. it's like reading books, watching things, shows and movies and things like that. So that's sort of my breathing space, just consuming and trying to fit that into spaces that I have of time, spaces of time that I have where it's convenient for me,
Mm.
basically.
It's
Yeah, I don't
really,
know if that's a good answer, but
it doesn't have to be a good answer. It's an answer. I mean, I definitely know that I turn to art or shows or any sort of product from the creative industry to find some sort of salvation or hope or distraction or ways to escape, right? So I think whatever you just said, it's all absolutely valid. But yeah, I'm really glad that you've joined me today. Thank you so much for your time. Maraming salamat. That's John Rata. I'm Marianne Infante, and this is Breathing Space.